What do you expect for energy in Texas next winter? Today we have with us David Blackman, a good friend, consultant, writer, speaker, podcaster, miner of absurdities. Good morning, David. It's a pleasure.
Good morning.
Excellent. David, next winter is coming, and in Texas, normally we hear about problems with energy. And I have two slides to share with all people that are following us, and you, of course. It will be colder with plenty more snow for millions. And the second slide, gas prices are forecast to be 14% lower. So my question for you, please, what do you expect for the energy supply and demand next winter? Shortage, crisis, or something normal?
Oh, well, so much depends on what happens with this war in the Middle East, whether it escalates beyond Gaza and Israel and threatens the flow of both oil and natural gas through the Strait of Hormuz. In the United States, we kind of have a separate market. We're self-sustaining on natural gas here in the U.S., so that for natural gas doesn't have a big impact on us potentially. But for crude oil, which is a global commodity whose price is set on a global market, that instability there in that region really threatens everyone, and with higher energy prices across the winter.
And renewables can help in this situation or not too much?
Well, yes, to some extent. Of course, here in Texas, we've added a lot of solar in recent years, a lot of solar capacity. We, of course, have long been the biggest wind energy state in the United States and have an abundance of at least nameplate capacity for wind generation. But as we have seen in winters past, renewable energy, unfortunately, fails most reliably when the weather gets bad. It's fine when the weather conditions are ideal, but when the weather either gets unusually warm or unusually cold, then what you actually get out of wind and solar is a smaller and smaller fraction of its nameplate capacity. So here in Texas, on our grid, ERCOT, our grid manager, has authorized mothballed natural gas and coal plants to prepare for operations across the winter, knowing that if we do have a severe weather event, we're going to need all of the real dispatchable baseload capacity we can possibly have on hand to fill in, because we know solar and wind will fail in those circumstances.
Sometimes, yeah. Is it normal that people use backup systems, generators, diesel generators at home?
Oh yes, in fact, my wife and I invested in one here recently, and this week actually I've been going through the preparations of getting that thing up and running and linked into our home's electricity supply, so that at least our home is protected if we have another major winter storm event. And more Texans are investing in those generators. It's been a real boom time for the manufacturers of those units here in Texas.
Based on diesel.
Diesel, ours is actually gasoline and propane. It's a dual fuel because we are out in the country and we don't have natural gas service, so we use propane at the house, and we will be able to hook this into our propane tank, which should run it for about 10 days, which is longer than any winter storm event Texas has experienced in recorded history. So hopefully that'll keep us safe.
Is it normal that the whole house is kept warm, not sector of the home? In Brazil, for instance, we separate the rooms and put, yeah. Is it normal to put all the house, a question of efficiency?
Yes, so you can do it in any number of ways. I mean, there are whole home generators that are, that people buy and put on concrete slabs that will power everything in the house.
Mhm.
We didn't invest in one of those. Those are very expensive. We have a generator that will run the major living areas in our main bedroom in our house because my wife and I are alone, and so it'll run about half of our home, which is all we really need, at the front end of our house, and we're able to segregate it that way. But yeah, some people invest in the whole home generators, which is much more expensive, but it's also easier to
Yeah,
maintain. So
yeah,
yeah.
that's right. In which case you spend more money in terms of energy, winter or summer?
In Texas, typically in summer for almost everyone, because of you need to run your air conditioners. It's awfully hot in Texas. The winters, we'll have several weeks where the weather is very cold here in the northern part of the state. In South Texas, often in some winters, you don't even have days that are freezing, go below freezing temperatures. But here in recent winters, we've had some very, very cold conditions in the northern part of the state. So we have to prepare for both seasons.
So in conclusions, no crisis, no shortage, or perhaps.
Not in the United States, but you know, if this war in the Middle East escalates dramatically, then it could be a real problem for everyone on Earth.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. In your case, I need to have another question for you, please. Do you have solar panels and wind turbines in your home, your backyard?
We do not. We do. We have neighbors who have solar panels on their homes, and that they've actually been pleased with the results. So and that's good. I'm certainly all in favor of that where it makes sense for people to do. And we priced that out for our house and found it to be extremely expensive and decided to go this other route.
Perfect. This was one question with David Blackman, a famous writer. Thank you so much, David.
Thank you, Armando. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye.